ATG from Kilmarnock town, got your hustle down. Streams the pool games live, makes our day come alive. Early mornings on your grind, Tesco shift unwind, but you find the time to play, stream the virtual day. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand.
And that's a sucker scratch. Look at the line. Commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you.
OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done, streams the games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That's for the 101. Absolutely sensational once again.
Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Just for fun, we'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That was fantastic.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool, nothing else.
He's a tactical genius, he's the one to see on VP4TV. He's wild and he's free. Nine ball top number hit to you and me. With his cunning moves, he's rocking endlessly. And cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, lights from the chill. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, lights from the chill. Tactical genius with every play, making magic happen every single day. In the world of billiards, he knows the way. Taking every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. From the corner bank to the perfect cut, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just a fortune of luck. But skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. 9ball.com's the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. He's the man, we all shout proper. gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. He wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up just for fortune or luck, but skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. Eyeball.com comes the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. Houston man, we all shout proper.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Right, good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to VP4TV this Sunday afternoon. We have matches on the schedule. As you might have seen, we've got this match that's due to start in the next 5 minutes or so between Markshark and Interchangex. Interchangex has been in and getting practice, or I presume he's practicing. I don't know what room he's in, whether he's just in his own room or not. Yes, he is. So he's getting practice in. Markshark has finally arrived in the lobby, and he hasn't given himself really much time to get much practice in, but we do have a match on. So we have this match at the top of the hour, but we've also got the match between Cold as Pillow. Now, the match we're about to watch is the one lost side match. We've got a round, what the hell is it, a round 2 or a round 3 match? I can't even remember what that is, between Cold as Pillow and Tommy. Where the hell is it on here? It's a round 2 match. And Tommy's never anywhere to be seen in the VP4 lobby until there's a tournament on, and still not 100% guarantee he's going to show up. So we've got that match in a few hours' time. And also we have Jose against Bankster, which goes ahead tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then an hour later, an hour after that, we have Mr. Fox against Miskin. So those matches are set for tomorrow. Markshark, I think Markshark was playing LS3, and that's how he ended up in the one loss side, if I'm not mistaken. And Markshark, if he had the table time and put in a bit more effort, is certainly dangerous. And he did take LS3 all the way to a final rack decider. Today's going to have to be at his best if he's going to take down Interchangex. But Interchangex, of course, when you look at that match there, he went down against Chiku, and you would have had Interchangex as the favourite if he had got to the Karams a lot sooner than Chiku. But Chiku actually pinched it in the end. So this is how they've ended up on the one loss side. And I always say in Cowboy, anything can happen. I don't think I've ever seen Miskin play Cowboy. Again, I don't know what time zone he is. I have no idea. But we have another 2-3 minutes to go. Now, yesterday, if any of you were around, we had a problem with the server. A fair problem, because I tried to get into the lobby and I was getting this login timed out thing, and it lasted for the best part of an hour, or at least until I noticed it. And so I messaged Simon, and he obviously rebooted the server and said it should be working. I tried to get back in and I still couldn't get back in. So there was more to it than maybe he first thought. But he showed me a screenshot of him in the lobby, but he was the only one in the lobby. Nobody else was there. And I tried again and I still couldn't get in. But it was eventually resolved. Was it yesterday? No, there was a problem on Friday, but there was also a what day is this? there's a problem yesterday as well, Larry. It was a bigger problem than Friday. This was for more than an hour. This happened yesterday. But anyway, Simon eventually got things working. And as far as I know, it's been okay since then. So welcome to Larry, Spud Boy, Cobra, Oldest Pillow, and anybody else that's watching. So the room is up. One is in. I'll get myself in. And we'll have the lag for the break. We've got Interchangex on the right. Markshark on the left. Race to 3. And it looks as if Mark's going to get first go here. And of course, the other reminder is in the HUD, well, not below the HUD at the top of the screen, we still have the high run held by Interchangex. It's still 91. And Cobra's the only one that's come close to it, probably on more than one occasion, and nobody else has really done anything that I've seen. And you're going to have to, whoever's left in the tournament, you're going to have to start putting scores together to take Cobra down. If you don't make scores, 20s don't get the job done. 40s and 50s make it interesting. So Markshark didn't last long at the table. And Interchangex in straight away, but he's got to get control first of all. So he needs that first pot or carom to get going. Open table. Yes, who's Philip? Oh, by the way, I noticed I've lost a subscriber. Whoever the hell that was, I have lost a subscriber in the last 48 hours, down to whatever it is. What am I at anyway? Is it 717 or something? I was 718, but somebody's bailed out. Well, welcome to Philip, whoever it might be in disguise. I'm just a virtual pool fan. I've seen that name before. That's, I mean, I don't know my Latin, but that's definitely Latin. And it obviously means something. So, Markshark back in. Interchangex only put 13 on the board. Now, he should be good for the pot and the 3 and the follow-up carom to come here. Oh, I've seen, that's where I've seen that Latin thing. You know where I've seen it? I've seen it in, I think I've seen it in different text fonts where it's showing you whether it be bold or slightly bolder text and stuff like that. I think I've seen that. That's probably where I've seen the name or the writing or the text. So Interchangex back at the table. Mark, again, only gathers 11 points. You know good and well that the longer it takes you to get yourself off and running in this, the more likely, with the chances Interchangex is getting, he's eventually going to put something together here. So I've got today off. I'm missing the final round of the golf at the moment. Scheffler's just teed off with a 4-stroke lead and should win it. Everybody else chasing him down. The only way that anybody else is going to beat Scheffler is A, they're going to have a good round. They're going to have to be shooting in the 60s. and B, Scheffler's going to have a disaster somewhere along the route. That's the only way that's going to happen. If he just plays conservatively, gets the birdies where he should be getting them in the par fives, and doesn't do anything numpty, he should have this in the bag. Well, now the thin cut in the 5, and he wants to get back up the table. Well, he's going to have to get back up the table, the angle he's got here, but he wants to judge the pace in this better. He's either going to let it run into the kitchen up top, or he's going to, not the kitchen, up above the 3-ball like that, the 3-ball spot. That's what I meant to say, because then he's leaving the 1 to the 3, which is easy enough. And the other way of doing it would have been to overhit it and come back down off that short rail, back down to the kitchen end of the table as we look, and play the same shot from the opposite end of the table. So now, right side of the table, we'll give him the 5 to the 3. And again, this is easy, this shot. I mean, he's going to play the 5 to the 1, but the force follow from the 5 to the 3 is dead easy, because you're banking the 5 back up the left side of the table and hopefully leaving a pot on. But he's going the other route because he's probably more comfortable doing that. But it set him up well for the follow-up carom again, though. So already the lead is building. The visit is 21 and counting. And in between all that, Markshark's had 2 or 3 visits and only gathered 11 points. And that ain't going to get anything done today, Mark. You're going to have to step it up a fair bit. And goodness knows what you're going to have to do as and when you get back to the table. Now, somebody said, who was it that said, was it Cobra that said earlier, what's happening with your match, Larry? Oh, I don't know who I upset. I don't know. But is Larry playing Matt? Is that what's happening? I think there's this is the 20th, but they've still, I think, got another 3 days to get the match arranged. Matt was in earlier on. Matt was in the lobby for a little while. So if this is the 20th, I go back to work on Tuesday. That's great. I'm off for the last fortnight. I go back to work on Tuesday. I do a short shift on Tuesday morning, and then I'm off for 2 days. That's my 2 days off. So it's a hard road back to work. Well, it looks like. When did you propose it for, Larry? If you proposed it for the Tuesday anytime your time later in the day, that would be fine. I'd still be able to get it because then I'm finished work. So this is the 20th, Monday's the 21st, Tuesday's the 22nd, and Wednesday's the 23rd. So that's, I think, the deadline day. So I could get it any time anyway. And meanwhile, Interchangex on a run of 40. And he's going to have to do a recovery here because the 3 ball is isolated on its own, and now the cue ball's going to have to run a bit here as well to make this carom. He's going to have to get a hold of it, and half ball.
Where's the cue ball going?
Before I could even utter the words, half ball is a disaster when you're playing the sucker scratch, and that's a sucker scratch. You take the risk of playing the carom, and if you hit it half ball, you're doomed. And there goes his 40-odd points. And Markshark can't even actually focus because that was a terrible effort there from him. And Interchangex back at the table. You know, Markshark's been waiting 10 minutes to get back to the table. He gets to the table, makes no effort at it at all. Terrible effort in that 3 ball. And Interchangex back in. Well, Markshark, I mean, I know it's early their time in the States. It is breakfast time, so he needs to get a cold splash of water in his face and actually wake himself up, because he's just thrown away a great opportunity there. Interchangex says it himself. Sucker shot. It is a sucker scratch because you know fine well that you don't want to play it. Where you've landed means it's really the only decent carom you've got, and you don't want to play it because you know what can happen. If you hit it full in the face, you're fine. But if you hit it half ball either side, guess where the cue ball's going to end up? So that's a bit of pain for Interchangex, but if he's not getting pressurised by Markshark, he just has to settle down and do it all again. Do they have English breakfast over there? I'm missing chat here. This bloody thing, this chat in the phone is absolutely hopeless. I've got it on top messages on my phone, and I'm already missing out about 3 or 4 lines of chat. What do Americans eat for breakfast? Pancakes, maple syrup, and all of that stuff. Oh, that sounds good, Larry. Except for the last part, the toast with jam. No, never. But the rest of it, yes, I would gladly eat that, but I would leave the toast and jam in the bin where it belongs. Yeah, 2 fried eggs, hash browns, yep, 3 pieces of bacon. In fact, the only thing that's wrong with the 3 pieces of bacon is it isn't 5 pieces of bacon. Yeah, marmalade. I don't have a jar of marmalade in the house, but you know, marmalade. Yes, I've not got a problem with it, but I don't like it that much that I would go out and buy it. I've had it in the past. Yeah, I do. I'm definitely carnivorous. Well, Markshark almost scratched there. And again, he's only accumulated an additional 4 points. Well, you can't really see anything other than a straight 3-0 here to Interchangex right now, unless Markshark suddenly finds a gear and actually can find his lines, because there's very little coming from his corner. I had a perfect stream last night for that big fight with Usyk and Dubois, and it was like a man against a boy. So it was. Usyk was far too savvy, and even the pundits in the commentary box said that if Dubois is going to get a different result in this return match last night, he had to be doing better with the jab. He had to be following it up and backing it up, and he did very little. and was well beaten. And he didn't look all that keen to actually even try and get up on his feet in that second count. And I think if he had done, he would have landed flat in his face anyway, because I think the legs were gone. Yeah, well, he won't have time for any mid-session interval. He'll be dead and buried by then, I'm afraid. He'll be long gone. He'll be packing his queue and going home. So Interchangex building up the lead again. Now this is not the best shape that he's in here, but 5 ball is still a big target. Well, he can pot the 3, come back into the middle of the table and leave the 3-5, or he can, you see, if he pots the 5, it's going to be a bit fiddly and awkward for the carom to follow. So I would much prefer to pot the 3 and get into the table, get up into the middle of the table to leave the 3 to the 5. But now that he's played the 5 ball, now he's having to play a stun again if he's going to go to that 1. And again, if he gets into it the wrong way and catches the back end of the 1, it could easily scratch the side. And he is really lucky. He is lucky that he missed that in the way across, because that would have been a scratch. He's missed it in the way across. He's hit the rail and come into the back of it. But that's a risk you take. It would have been nothing like that had he played my shot and actually just potted the 3 and come back into the middle of the table to play the 3-5. There would have been no danger of that happening. But anyway, he's got away with it. The run goes to what, 20, 26, 28? Well, of course, that's the thing about Cowboy. You've got to. I mean, when you get to you're on a decent run, and you have something where you know you're going to have to run the cue ball to get there, or you're having to play maybe an awkward carom, a bit like that sucker scratch carom that he played, then the best thing to do is just to bail out. Just make sure you hit a ball to a rail, try and leave the table awkward, and don't throw away your points. Many's the time I've done that. So the run goes to, what's that, 36? Well, commentators curse. He's just hung the 3 ball. And this is about time Markshark really did give himself a shakedown here and put something on the board, because this is pretty pathetic so far. And he's better than that. But again, immediately, he's going to have to do the 2-railer into the 5 ball, and he's missed that. I mean, that tells you how bad he's played, because he's not got table time. I mean, that is a carom every day of the week for anybody who plays Cowboy, and he's missed that by a country mile. So he's got absolutely no chance. That was a really, really no table time effort there from Markshark. Well, Markshark, as far as I know, when he was playing Cowboy, he's played it at times in the past with us late night his time, early morning our time, and it's always been in the 10-footer. I don't remember the last time I actually. I'll tell you the last time I played in the 9-footer. We had, I think, the first Cowboy World Championships in VP4, and we played it in the 9-footer, and that's the last time I played in the 9-footer. Playing Cowboy, never been near it since. But Mark's problem is just simply not getting enough table time at all, and you end up missing stuff that you would never consider missing. I mean, that carom that he missed there was a horrible miss. It was so easy. You see, he's not getting himself into proper control here. He's having to let loose the cue ball, and again, single figure contribution. So the first thing you have to do, especially in Cowboy, is get control. You have to get some semblance of control where everything's falling into place. You're getting that either the ball's in the spot, in which case you're in a sort of standard setup for Cowboy where you're going from the 1 to the 5 ball or the 5 to the 3 ball or the other way around, and you're working your way up and down the table, banking the 5 to play the force follow carom or whatever. But if the balls keep ending up going upward, it's a struggle to keep the thing going. Now, Interchangex got away with that one as well there. That cue ball going around the corner. But I think he just has to mark time, Interchangex. He's going to get to the caroms long before Markshark's going to anywhere near them. Well, I'll tell you something, Coldest Pillow. I hope it's you that does it. Don't tell me that's Romario. I don't know where the hell he's got the Psy Romario crap from. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does PSY Romario mean? I hope that's the Romario. We'll soon find out. Anyway, Interchangex plodding slowly onwards here to get to 90. And I think he's going to win this, and he's not going to have to break sweat right now. Right, well, pot the 1 ball. Try and maybe leave that 5 to the 3, because you don't want the 3 where it's sitting. And the angle wasn't good to hold for it. So he can stun into it, though. He could also overcut. Well, the dangerous one would be overcutting the 5. He's trying to play the stun, and I think he's missed it. But that lets Markshark back in. Interchangex still short of 90, but Mark's a mile behind. And, well, again, he's going to have to play the sucker scratch shot as well here. I've got 2 or 3 101 and outs on my channel. VP Monster did 1, Tornado Tam did 1, Yamaguchi Taro did 1. I've got the videos on my YouTube channel. You just troll through there and find them. No, I've not done it. That Tactical Genius video that Tam did, that was me running out from, I think I got back to the table when I was on 78 and I ran out for there. The best I've done is 90 something. But I've not run out 101. Again, I don't play it often enough. That's the problem. If I was retired and at home every day and playing cowboy every day, then I'd probably be a wee bit better player. But my working hours conflict with my VP4 hours. Oh, I'm definitely too loose with the cue ball. I like to run the cue ball and go for 3 railers. I've always done that. That's a sucker. That's like laying bait for me. I'll take it every time. I won't turn it down. I'm going for it. As soon as there's a ball near a corner, I'm 3 railing it every day of the week if I can. It's definitely not the way to play if you want to accumulate points. But if you want to look flash and cocky, yes, it's the way to go. You look at some of the shots I played on that run from 78 and out. I had the cue ball running all over the place. And meanwhile, Markshark, his visit ends in 11. He's accumulated 40 points. And Interchangex should be into the caroms here. But he needs to get the carom from the 3 to the 1 and get that 1 in play. And he's perfect for that. He's just got to watch the pace. He just wants to gently nudge this 3, just edge it, just like that, and try and keep the 5-3 as a setup, which he's done. The only problem now is that 1 ball where it's sitting. You don't want to have to play to the 1 ball. Now, if you play the 5 to the 3, the problem with that is if you're trying to keep the 5 in play, you're going to have to hit this firmer. And then if you catch the 3 the wrong way, you pot the 3. So it's tricky, this. He's going to have to leave them looser. See, this is not a good setup. The table's not good, especially with the 1 ball where it is. So he's playing the draw. Trying to get the 5 into some sort of play. And he can probably play the draw from the 5 to the 3 or from the 3 to the 5. But the 1 ball sort of out of the game right now. I don't retire until I'll be dead. Let's put it this way. I will be dead before I get to retirement age. My retirement age is 67. And I don't think I'll live that long. I saw a bit of the James Whale interview with Nigel Farage on YouTube. I didn't know. I knew that James Whale had cancer a few years ago. I know that. I know he had cancer a few years ago, and he went into remission and all of that. In fact, he had probably a good 10 years ago or more. But I didn't know he was as bad as he was. But he definitely looks a frail man. It's terminal now, I heard. So he thinks that'll be his last interview he's done. So Markshark has done Interchangex a favour. He's potted the 1 ball. Now, force follow onto the 1. 1 ball needs to stay in play, which it has done. And now everything's isolated. So the only real guarantee of a shot here is cutting the 1 and going over the far side as we look and playing from the 1 to the 3. And he's missed the pot in the 1. Should never have missed that pot in the 1. That's a terrible shot as well. And he was set up pretty good there for the 1 to the 3. The only thing he's done is wasted the 1 ball for Interchangex. So there's a fair chance he'll be back at the table in the not too distant future, but that's a good shot to start with. If only the double kiss didn't happen there. Well, do you know who James Whale is? Oh, I like Stephen Hendry because Stephen Hendry calls it what it's worth. You know, if he sees shit, he calls it shit, and I'm pretty much the same. Aye, Joe Swale, he retired a few years ago now. So, Interchangex, this is just a plod to get to the finish line here. What are we? We're already over the average for two decent cowboy players. The average is probably half an hour for a game of cowboy and getting out, and this is going to run longer than that. If only because Interchangex lost those sort of 40-odd points that he had with that scratch early on, but it's only a matter of time. He's going to get there. Oh, that was a good effort. One ball running loose, so that's the danger with that shot. It could have been a great carom, but that one ball could have gone in. So here we go again, Markshark. And I don't think he's actually put anything better than a run of 11 together, which is absolutely pathetic. Let's be quite frank. I mean, that is useless. It's going to get him nothing in this match. So now the 5 is on its spot. The only problem with that is I think he's blocked himself off. Well, he's got the force follow to the 3, which is a bit of a bailout. Now, how is he for a follow-up shot? Now, again, he's a bit high in the 1 ball, but he's going to have to bite the bullet here and just play it. Now, the trick with this is holding the cue ball. And he's actually... See, the thing that's missing there was the left English. He needed the English to get the cue ball out this direction rather than running into the 3, and he would have been set up. But he's playing the draw and he's caught the edge and he's still at the table. Now, once again, the shot here is pot the 5 and stay in the kitchen. Just drop it in dead weight. And don't finish on the middle diamond, which is just done. Now, you could have easily avoided that by checking the cue ball or helping it across with a bit more English to go further right, and he's walked straight into that one, because that's always the danger. If you hit it too soft, you're going to finish dead straight, and now he needs to get lucky here. He's trying to bump the 5 out of the way and follow to the 3, and he's got too much English on it and missed the back end, and there goes the visit. But I think he's at his high run for the match there, 14. I wouldn't be shouting that in the streets. Well, let me just put it this way. You've got as much chance of seeing a Markshark comeback as you have of seeing a bloody blue moon. Pretty rare. Yeah, he did get away with it there. I think Interchangex might have got away with it as well because he's finished awkward, and it's a dangerous setup that he's got. Well, he's played the bank, which is probably the clever move there, rather than running the cue ball. But as we always say, the beauty about Cowboy is if you can finally get your act together at some point in the rack, like this, you still have a chance. I mean, the Interchangex is only 95, so he ain't at the finish line yet. But if only Markshark could wake up to that fact and get his act together, well, it ain't happening at all. But he's not left an easy table. But this is a nice little two-railer or a three-railer into the back of the one. Let me have a look at the line. Oh yeah, this is perfect for a nice little 2-3 railer. 1, 2. Well, he didn't get to the third rail, but that'll work because look where the 5 ball's set up. I mean, a shot like that in a game of Cowboy is something you should be getting sort of 9 times out of 10 anyway, the way that 1 ball was sitting. The problem if he's playing the draw from the 3 to the 5 is that this 3 ball might get there before the cue ball does. That's the problem with this shot. And that's what can happen. So the scratch lets Markshark off the hook. He's on 65 and he has to get to 90 right now. Anything less than that is no use. He has to get to 90 and he has to hold it together. And already he's going to have to play a little stun here. And he's getting to it too much. See, again, that's sloppy. That's in too much of a hurry and not setting himself up. And, you know, he's just in so much a hurry to get the shot over. He's not even setting himself up for the shot and having a quick look at the line and get far too much bottom in the cue ball rather than the stun and actually drew it to the rail. Good afternoon or good morning to VP Monster. And I didn't get a game of Cowboy doubles this morning and I'm not happy. And obviously on a Sunday, Crosty's deep religious, he's probably went to mass. He was nowhere around, so I couldn't even get a game of the numpties. You're retired from doubles. Well, here we go again. This time Interchangex has had a run of 3. He's on 98. Markshark. Last chance saloon to get to the carom phase, and you never know. And, well, that's that then. Let's have a look at what he's left Interchangex. Well, he's got a 2-way shot, which is the cut in the 1 and around the angles. Try and maybe catch the edge of the 3, and if not, you hit the 5. That's a 2-way shot. And he's caught the 5. The 1 and the 3 are not sitting too bad. And it could well be over this first rack. Oh, he's gone below it. Touchy little shot there, but didn't quite get the line off the rail. So here we are. This is second last chance saloon for Markshark. But even though you're in a desperate situation, if your head's screwed on, you've still got to think about protecting the one ball and at least try to give yourself an extra life. I mean, Interchangex is still needing one more carom to get to the outshot, but well, he's going to get there now. I mean, Markshark just set everything up very nicely for him. The only thing I'd be concerned about is how you finish in the one ball here. And he's trying to get things into play, and that might work very nice if it keeps running. I think he's fine. He should be just stunning this into the side pocket for 1-0. You need a roll of the ball, but he landed perfect there. So after a prolonged 40 minutes, we have the first rack on the board, and it was none too impressive from Markshark, trying to hit the ground running when he hasn't been playing at all, and it just leads to a pretty embarrassing performance so far by him. Irregular betting patterns. I think if I had any spare going, I wouldn't be betting on Markshark. I think the odds will be that will Markshark get to 50 in any of these racks? And will Interchangex, under no pressure, will he maybe string a new high run together here? Nobody else is. So that's the one goal that Interchangex has got, to try and beat his high run for the tournament. Yeah, well, that's generally how I would describe it, Cobra. He's pretty shit. You know, if you don't put in the time and effort, I mean, he didn't get here, you know, half an hour early. He didn't get into a room to get some practice. He just wants to go through the motions, get this over and get out the door. I have to say, on that subject, looking at the schedule, the prospects don't look that much better for Tommy either, because we'll get the match with Coldest Pillow and Tommy coming up in a few hours' time, and I'm just wondering whether Tommy's going to be bothering to show up, and because he again, well, Interchangex needs to get his eyes tested again, I think. Oh, he must have just caught an edge there. I thought he'd lost those points there. But yeah, Tommy's nowhere around. Tommy's doesn't regularly spend any time in the VP4 lobby. He's going to show up out of the blue, and I would say that Tommy's probably a more efficient potter than Markshark is, but I don't rate his chances very much against Coldest Pillow, who's got a lot of table time, not necessarily in Cowboy, but just generally got a lot of table time in VP4. Well, let's see. I think the question I'll be asking is the Coldest Pillows sort of grasping anything about the basics of how you want to be setting yourself up in Cowboy? We'll soon see that if the match goes ahead. I still think it's 50-50 that it will. What vid? No, I never saw that video. When I received that text, I was in the middle of doing my shopping in Silverburn at that time, and now I got home and I never had a chance to look at it. because I was straight in and then had something to eat, and then I put the golf on and I was watching that until this thing was about to start. And if I remember, I'll go look at it after this is over. In fact, I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to go and blow my nose. I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back. Well, this is the biggest contribution Markshark's made so far. Although that's about to end because he just locked himself up behind the 1 ball. Oh no, he's going to get something. Well, the obvious one to pot now is the 1 ball. And just get yourself out into the table because you've got an easy carom set up, and the chances are you may well end up potting the 3 ball if you carom from the 5 to the 3. Oh, that's the danger with that shot, is actually going to that long rail on the side there near the pocket, but he's maybe going too far. He's going to have to go 3 to the 5. And now he's out of line. Now he's going to have to make a pot. Now again, if he just pots this pocket weight and stays there, he might have a long carom, but at least he's given himself a chance of it. He's had a bang at it, and the cue ball's actually finished where he would have had a shot, but the run ends in 31. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups now. So at least he's got himself into the rack. And that's probably his highest contribution in goodness knows how long. Because he's not really been around VP4 very much in the past number of months, it has to be said. But again, the fact that he's stateside, he might be on late at night now and again, I don't know. I'll cut the 5. Cut the 5 and you've got a choice of 2 shots here probably to make the next carom. Well, that's perfect. I mean, that's perfect for the little follow through onto the 1. And again, you're banking the 5. The bank's actually caught the 3 ball and made it a wee bit awkward. Normally the 5 ball's coming down this direction and you're set up for the next pot. So now he's got a cut in the 5 or almost a bedhead cut in the 1 ball to stay at the table. Now, if he plays the cut on the 1 ball, he's coming down this direction here. If he plays it at the right pace, he can leave himself a 2-railer into the 3 ball when the 1 spots. He's overcut the 5. Markshark's got an easy pot in the 3, and if he goes left or right side, he'll have the 3-5 carom to follow. So he should be set up here to get a start, as long as he doesn't fall into line down the spots. Well, again, Needs to keep something alive here, and that collision there has actually helped him in terms of having a pot in the 3, albeit it's a cutback. He might be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, get the cutback and get the carom to the 5 and get it out of there, and that's very handy. Again, playing it pretty loose. And once again, having to produce the pot. You don't want to be leaving yourself awkward pots or awkward cuts if you can help it. And now he has a not too easy carom to produce here. He can go 1 into the 5. It's a big target. He's going the other way. I think I preferred my way because playing it off the 1 to the 5, there was a big margin of error to get a hit there, and I think he chose the wrong shot. The run ends on 12. Scores are all square, pretty much, for the time being. But now we're back into what is a more conventional setup here for Cowboy. He can play the 5 to the 3, he can go the 1 to the 5. And that sets up the follow-up carom. Get the 1 in its spot. See, this is all conventional stuff now. Because then you're sort of just running an autopilot. It's only when things start getting loose you have to work out that way for the recovery. Anyway, what was that video about, Tam? You haven't told me. Now that's going to end up straight if it doesn't glance the 1, and that's landed nicely there because that was going to probably die behind that 1 ball there. He's set up perfect now. 5 ball gets nudged towards the 3, pot the 1, back to square 1 again. Actually overhit that slightly because again he's just trying to keep a ball in play to make the pot. Now he's looking for the 5 to the 1. And again, half ball at the right pace. He doesn't want to hit this too hard, but he wants to hit it half ball, not full in the face, because that way he's lining up the pot. Now you have to make a decision here. The angle on the 1 ball means the cue ball wants to go up table. The question is whether you bite the bullet here and play something crazy in the 5 ball to get it in the spot. Because you're not going to be ideal either way. See, this is looking to spin to the short rail and into the back of the 1. He doesn't want to go direct to it because that's a dangerous scratching doing that. And you know, when you have to dig out a carom and it's left tough like that, as always, the odds are not favourable that you're going to keep your run going. But nevertheless, the important thing is he's kept his points. It's 28. He's got a healthy lead. And we're waiting on some sort of response from Markshark. We might be waiting a long time, though. I think Tam's got bored and left. I think Tam's gone. I don't think he's there. In fact, what I'll do is I'm going to shut down my what do you call it, YouTube on my phone, and I'm going to go to Facebook and see what this link is that Tam sent me. Let me have a look. I'll soon tell you what it is. It says, on 100 with no yellow and cowboy. Is this a bug that Tam's discovered? Let me have a look. Right. Let me just try this. Well, Tam, the video I'm watching is showing him on 100 with the 1 ball off the table because the 3 ball was covering its spot. If your opponent is in 2 fouls and you can sink the yellow and cover the yellow spot, I need to watch that again. Right, anyway, if you go to YouTube, well, you're on YouTube, but if you type in VP4, capital VP4, and then Tam, you should find his channel and be able to watch that video. That's like a weird rule. Tam said he's been playing for 12 years and that's the first time that's ever happened. I must admit, I've never seen it happen where the 3 ball was actually on the spot, so the 1 ball couldn't come up and spot for the outshot. And that is a rarity. It certainly is a rarity. I'm going to watch that on YouTube properly later on so I can absorb it all. So that's what the video is about a weird setup in Cowboy that can only happen at that point in the actual rack, where he's potted a ball to get to 100, and in the process the 3 ball has rolled over the 1 spot, and the 1 couldn't come back up to go in its spot. You see, that's easily resolved in snooker because the ball comes up and then it goes either on the highest spot available or it goes... In fact, that might be an interesting thing for Steve to look at. I mean, it's a rare scenario that that's ever going to happen, but it does happen. Whenever there's a possibility, Sod's Law says, yes, it can happen and it will happen at some point. No, the 1 ball stays down. As long as the 3 ball keeps covering the 1 spot, the 1 ball can't come up onto the table. The thing is that Tam was only in practicing by himself, so he wasn't playing anybody when that happened. But there's been many hundreds of games of Cowboy played in VP4, and I'm sure that scenario has never, ever happened. Meanwhile, Markshark is, well, he's only 26 behind. And again, I mean, looking at what the position he's in at the moment, if only he could put a run together and get to 90 right now, he's in with a chance. I just don't think I think he's the only one that doesn't realise that. If he just puts something together, something decent, and can get almost knocking on the door of that 90, he is in with a chance. And again, the visit ends on 12, way short of the mark. So we've been playing for 1 hour. And well, at least we've got until 7 p.m. before the next one. Interchangex is heading towards a 2-0 lead here. Not quite there yet, but more than a strong favourite that he's going to be there. Now, with the 3-ball going in its spot, there's not really any great advantage of staying behind the 3-ball because you're miles away from where you really want to be, which is there. That's perfect. He's actually landed that on a button there so they can play the 1 to the 5. Now, again, he's going to have to just produce the pot. Now, if he draws into the rail, he can stay there or thereabouts. He needs to get right into this, though. Or go high like that. As long as he had the angle to get around the corner now, that's perfect. I mean, you can do it both ways. But that's fine. And again, he should be leaving the 1 ball in play here. Oh, he's missed the carom, though. Maybe he was more focused on actually the 1 ball than he was in the actual carom there. And that's a bad one because it's let Markshark in again. Well, there's the answer to that. Markshark says, no incentive for me to win this match anyway. Going on a long Canadian vacation soon and would miss the next match. That would not be fair. So, I mean, the way he's talking, this match might not go all the way. He might be considering bailing out here. But then again, he would have known all of that before he signed up for the tournament, wouldn't he? He would have known all of that. There's no way that this vacation suddenly came around and he didn't know about it. So in that case, then why did he sign up in the first place? Anyway, Interchangex moves on to 90. That was unlucky. So the 5 ball out the game. The chance to get it into play off this 1 ball. He's going to have to get into this to make the carom. We'll tell a lie, he was on a pot, my bad. Well, I would put it another way, Mark. Interchangex is not that damn good. You're just that damn shit. That's the other way to look at it. You've not played well at all. But there are reasons for that. As I said, he doesn't spend all his life playing VP4. Doesn't have the table time. So he's only prolonging the inevitable here. And I suppose, with that said, let's have a look at the bracket and see how things shape up for Interchangex, because I think without a doubt he's going through. Well, Tornado Tam should be more sterner opposition for Interchangex, although Tam's problems is the same thing. He's not scoring consistently enough. But if he does score that bit more consistent, yes, he can give Interchangex problems. So Tam needs to hit the ground running. He has to do that in all his matches if he's going to survive, but that's who's lined up for Interchangex next. The one loss side has still got a lot to go as far as shaping up goes. But there's one that we never noticed. We've got Stub up against VP Monster, and they've got until August the 2nd to get that arranged, so they've got a little while yet. So that is interesting. And what's even more interesting is the fact that once Stub gets beat, which he will, we've got a match lined up with VP Monster and Chiku, and that will be interesting. So remember that the one-loss side is the same as the winner side. They're all races to 3, these matches. So that's an interesting line-up there. I wonder if Stubbs going to try the old, show up after the match is already timed out routine like he did against Tam. Anyway, that's the setup there. On this winner's side, if we can get this bracket to work, going from top to bottom, we might as well get this done just now, and it saves me doing it later on. We've got the matches that are already scheduled. The round 2 with Mr. Fox and Miskin. We've got the round 2 with Larry and Matt now set up. And that's set up for, is that tomorrow? Don't tell me we've got a clash. Let me have a look.
Where's the cue ball going?
Hang on a minute. No, he's set it up for Wednesday. Good thinking, Larry. Very good thinking. So we've got the match with Matt and Larry on Wednesday evening at 7, which is my day off. So I'll be able to get that. We'll get those matches up ahead, and the one coming later this afternoon or earlier this evening between Coldest Pillow and Tommy. I'm just hoping it goes ahead. Then you've got Jose and Bankster, and then Mr. Fox and Miskin. So that's where that is. Meanwhile, back to this match, we've got Markshark. Well, Markshark is within touching distance here. Although, what the hell did I do just to jinx him there that he played such an obvious follow-through into the pocket is unbelievable. What the hell was that all about? You haven't watched Real Poland Power. You don't need to watch Real Poland Power. You know exactly how he's going to play. He's going to play fast and loose, and he's going to get picked off. Well, I think Napnicker. I think Napnicker's got a point, because I think Yama is a very good cowboy player. If only he played it a lot more. So Interchangex on 95. He had a little run of 3 there, kept his carams. Markshark. Can he get to 90? Will he get to 90 in any of these racks? Well, if he just pots that 5 ball and sort of faults the cue ball, he's going to have a carom. That takes him to 78. Now just a feather on the one ball. Yeah, I think he's potted the 3, but he wants to keep coming. He wants to keep going, keep going, keep going. Now he's got a choice. He can go the force follow to the 3, which is dodgy, but he's trying to play the stun from the 5 to the 3. Doesn't get there, but doesn't lose his points, albeit again they're only 11. And the danger there, of course, is trying to play the edge from the 1 to the 3 because you're in a potting angle with that one ball. But that's a good alternative. Well, again, he wants to be going to the rail and coming to the back of the 1, not going direct to it if he can help it. He looks as if he's trying to go direct to it. No, he is going to the rail. Problem with that is he's not setting himself up great, but he does have a shot. I think the other problem with a lot of players in Cowboy is that they don't look at the natural angle a lot of the time. You know, a lot of the time there's a natural angle just to get to a ball. It might involve using a rail, but I think a lot of players are scared to use the rails in that sense. You know, unless it's as if unless something's staring them in the face, they don't see the maybe the more challenging alternative shot, like using a rail. So you've got to look at the tangent, you know, where you don't even need English. All you're doing is taking a certain amount of the object ball, letting that cue ball go to the rail, and then the path then goes to the other object ball. A lot of players are frightened in Cowboy in doing that sort of stuff. And again, the more you play the game, the more you should be willing to have a go at that sort of stuff. Because that can be the difference between getting a run of 20 or running 70 odd. If you just bite the bullet and you know, grow a pair and actually trust your eyes. A lot of players don't trust their eyes. They can see the line. You've got to visualise the shot. And, you know, better players are not afraid to have a go at that type of shot. And the other thing is, you know, the important thing about use of English as well. That's going to head for the pot. You know, using English in the right way in Cowboy. Sometimes you're using reverse English to straighten a ball up, to make that line. You've got to be able to see that type of thing. And I suppose that's where, you know, your all-round experience in playing pool in general will help you for that. So, Interchangex with ball in hand, trying to get the outshot there for 2-0, but of course the one ball was in the kitchen. And Markshark has set him up with a choice of coming back into the corner pocket, or he could call the right centre pocket, but he's calling the bottom right. That looks good to me. That's perfect. Perfect line. Let's see if the replay works. He couldn't have hit that any better. Absolutely spot on. So 2-0 after an hour and 15 minutes. So this match is dragging on a bit. And Markshark misses the pot. He misses a carom. And Interchangex straight in again. Do you have chips in your curry? What the hell does that mean? And who are you talking to? More to the point. Well, I don't know what Coldest Pillow's blabbing about. He just comes out with a random line saying, do you have chips in your curry? I don't know what he means. I don't know who he's addressing it to. I don't know what it's in reference to. I have no clue. I think he's just trying to get himself back to #1 spot in the chat for the top fans thing because he's dropped to 2nd place. So I just think he's babbling out bullshit now just to try and get there. No, you've got chips and curry sauce that you'll get out of the chippy. No, I'm still here to go and blow my nose again. I've got a slight touch of the hay fever, and that's all came about because I had to go out and do my big shop today. As I said, when this summer weather comes in, I tend to stay indoors out of it. So I've got a bit of a runny eye and a snuffly nose. Anyway, Interchangex.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh, it stays on the table. Has the early lead in the rack that he needs to survive, which no doubt will come eventually. And the sooner this is over, the quicker I can go and get a cup of coffee, settle down and watch a bit of the golf. And then we'll be back later on, hopefully, for the match with Coldest Pillow and Tommy, which might be possibly a fairly similar setup. I don't know. It depends what liberties Coldest Pillow wants to try and take. And whether Tommy's got any notion of... in fact, now that I think about it, how did Tommy get to the one-loss side? That's something I haven't paid attention to. Did he actually play a match? In fact, tell a lie, he's not even on the one loss side. What am I thinking about? Is this a bye from the first round, or is it? I don't even know. Where the hell is it? Because I don't think Tommy's played a game yet. No, he hasn't. Yeah, because Tommy's only had a bye, and so did Cold as Pillow. So none of these guys have played in the tournament yet. Why did I think it was a one-loss side match there for a second? But no. So Tommy's either going to show or he won't show. That's all I'm saying. No, my grass gets cut by the council. I used to pay 30 quid each time for a guy and his mate to come and do it for us, because I can't be arsed doing it. And I'm absolutely knackered when I get home. The last thing I want to do when I get home from work is go out into a garden and start hacking down grass and hedges. So the council does mine now. Now that I reached 60, that was the first thing that I did. I thought, right, what do I qualify for? And straight on to them. And they now do it. The only weird thing about it is they don't bill you before the season starts. They bill you at the end of the season. So I'm expecting a 30 quid bill in January for them cutting my grass and hedges. Well, it's big enough. I mean, I've got a big hedge that runs from the front of the house to right up to the back of the garden. And then there's another little hedge that splits me from my neighbour. And then there's 2 squares in front of the house, and then there's the bigger bit of grass at the back of the house. So yeah, I mean, I could do it, but I'm knackered when I get home from my work, and I don't want to be even more knackered. I don't want to be found dead in the back garden over a lawnmower. I want to be at least have the dignity of dying in my chair in front of the Sweeney on ITV4 or something like that in the middle of the afternoon. I don't want to be lying over the lawnmower dead. But I suppose that's the better way that a neighbour at least know that I'm dead, rather than me stinking up the house for a fortnight before somebody suddenly thinks there's a funny smell coming from there. And I haven't seen him going to work for the last 4 or 5 days. The car's been sat there all that time. I work in .com in Tesco, which I will do on Tuesday morning when I go back to work. So, Interchangex for the 30-odd point lead. Not sitting in great shape because I think he's blocked off for the carom. Yeah, he's dead straight. So now he's going to have to pick a line tight around the corner. Big target, that 5 ball, but tight around the corner for the 5 ball. Well, he's going the long way around, but that'll work. Excellent shot. Yeah, he's went the longer way around. And, you know, whatever way you do it, it works. Well, the guys in VP4, the only way they're going to know that something's wrong is if I don't show up in the VP4 lobby for more than 2 days. Then somebody will start to question, where is he? Because at some point I look in the VP4 lobby every day. And if it hadn't been for my curiosity, we would never have known that Lucky Q had died. Not that anybody really in VP4 knows who that was, but it was somebody that was in VP3, and not really the most friendly of characters you're ever going to meet online. Let's be honest. But nobody would have known he'd died, and nobody would have really cared either, to be brutally frank. But I found out he had passed away last month. He passed away in May, but I found out in June. And then, of course, Casino Jim, who were playing cowboy doubles with him pretty much regularly every morning, well, at least on my days off. And he said he was going away for a few days, and we never heard of him. It went longer than a few days, and then we heard the news that he had passed away. So, in fact, now that Romario had become a subscriber to the channel, he's not uttered a bloody word. And I don't even know if he's there. He's probably get bored to death watching this and listening to me. But I'm sure Romario and he's probably get rid of his membership. He's probably unsubscribed in the process. But he hasn't uttered a damn word after he subscribed. You thought I've not got a will. Because wills cost money, that's another thing. There's always money to be made somewhere. I mean, whether it's burying you or whatever, but you start going making wills, you've got to pay money to get one of them made. My plan is that if I do live to retirement age, I'm going to have all my money spent anyway. Not that I'll get that much. I'm barely getting by day to day. I've still got not much of a pension from my last job, where I worked for about 20 years, and the pension that I've got from this job, that's all I've got. And then, of course, the state pension along with that. Right, where have we got to in this? Well, we've got Markshark plodding along. Interchangex is into the caroms and just biding his time. Well, the thing is most of the people in VP4, there's only a certain bunch of people actually communicate in VP4. It's probably the same in many gaming lobbies where, I mean, there's people come into VP4 every day and they never utter a word. They never interact in the chat, probably let alone actually say anything in a room. You know, these people come and go and you never notice them. So there are people that have maybe been here on a regular basis for a good number of years, but because they never really interact, it never catches your eye. So they could be dead and buried and gone, and you're just not aware of it. But if there are people that you've regularly played with at certain times and suddenly they're not there, The other problem is if you don't have any other way of communicating with them, if they don't use social media and they stay away from that, and you don't have an email address. I mean, Romario's a perfect example of that. Romario was in VP3 and VP4 for years and years, and suddenly he disappears. And there's no way of knowing who he is, where he is, how to get a hold of him. And all I knew is that I have got old contact emails that I asked for in VP3 many years ago when I was setting up either the Virtual Snooker World Championship or the 9-ball, I can't remember. But I used to make sure I asked for an email from everybody that signed up so that I could send an email back to them and they would have to acknowledge my telling me what word I put in the email. That way I knew I was in contact with them, because back then, I had to chase people up to arrange their matches and stuff like that. So I knew that I possibly had an old email for Romario. So I sent him an email a number of months ago and I said, are you still there? And fortunately, he had the good sense to actually send a reply and saying aye, but he doesn't tell you anything. And he still hasn't told us anything since he came back. But at least he suddenly appeared and he's back and he hasn't died. Right. The scratch from Markshark, Interchangex. Can see the finishing line now. If he can just get these balls under control now, he can play the carom, but try and really get that 5-ball around the table. It's maybe coming a bit short, but it's actually in a good line again for the little cut to the rail, short rail into the back of the 3. If you miss the 3, you've got a chance of hitting the 5. But he's going the other way, drawing from the 3 to the rail to maybe get to the 5. But I don't know what's wrong with that shot. I suppose if you're really unlucky, you might actually pot the 1, but to me, that's a far easier shot going 2 rails to get to the 3 or the 5. And I don't know why he didn't fancy it. But having said that, he hasn't left a pretty table for Markshark to get going. Well, everybody's got their choice. Maybe because I've said far too many times that he's well overdue winning one of these big major tournaments, and he's fallen short on each occasion. And also the other thing is he's a bit of a one-trick pony. He doesn't he doesn't aspire to be the new Albinario, where Albinario adapts to every game that he plays. Although, having said that, Albinario for some reason doesn't like Cowboy. I don't know why, because he'd probably come in this and win this as well. I think Albinario's been a wee bit sympathetic to Cobra in that sense, because this is Cobra's way of pinching an extra championship where Albinario's not involved, and making it much easier for Cobra. But Spectre Dawn doesn't put himself in the mix often enough in all of these tournaments to give himself better odds of actually winning one. If all you do is narrow it down to 9-ball and 10-ball and you're still not achieving success there, then what does that tell you? You should maybe get yourself involved in the other ones like black ball and stuff like that, and try and increase your odds in winning one. Well, if he doesn't like it in black and white, then you can vote with your feet. Maybe he doesn't want to hear the truth. Maybe he can't handle the truth. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, we're almost at a close here. we're not far off it. Interchangex on 97. Well, he's going to play the draw. 3 balls going to go up top left. It's going to be isolated. Now, he has the carom from the 1 to the 3, but he's also got the option of the 3 to the 5. The only danger with the 1 ball, he's got to watch he doesn't cross bank that. Now, he's playing it soft, but he's playing it ultra cautious.
Where's the cue ball going?
And that's what happens. I think he should have played the more safer option of going off the 3 to the rail and into the back of the 5. This is this the most that Markshark's accumulated in any of these racks? Because I've honestly not been keeping count. No, he said more than that. He was closer. He was closer in the last rack to 90, but he never got there in it either. He certainly got to the 70s. And Interchangex has now been set up here to get out pretty much. So an hour and 36 minutes and counting. That takes him to 99. Another little, well, he can go the force follow, he can go the draw to the 3 ball. I think the only danger is the line that the 1 ball is going to take. Now he's just trying to keep everything in play, and that'll do. So again, this is a perfect setup for the outshot for the 3-0 win for Interchangex. And in it goes. Well, that's the most comfortable win he's going to get in this tournament. A 3-0 win. Markshark can go on his vacation because he might as well. He was actually playing like he was on vacation. That's how bad he was. But anyway, here's hoping he does have a good time. But he needs more table time, most certainly. So, Tornado Tam now knows who his opponent's going to be. I think he'd a fair guess that it was definitely going to be Interchangex. In the meantime, we've
Where's
got
the cue ball going?
the match lined up with Cold as Pillow and Tommy, and here's hoping that goes ahead, and that's going at 7 p.m. I'll be back for that then. And then there's the other matches to follow over the following days, including the one with Matt and Larry on Wednesday. I'll be around for that as well. So that's it, folks. Thanks for your company. I'm off to watch a bit of the golf, cup of coffee, and a little break. And we'll be back later on. I hope you can join us. So till then, we will see you later. Take care.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.